Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Comic Art Live show. It's episode 35. And believe it or not, tomorrow will mark the first anniversary that Glenn, Will, Mike, and I did our first Comic Art Live origin show. So that's pretty impressive. That was exactly on May 19th, 2020. And that was kind of a test to see if we could get used to doing the StreamYard thing and putting on the panels for that first Comic Art Live show, which was the following week. So, and speaking of Comic Art Live, by the way, I did post the panel update. So the whole panel schedule is on the site, as well as we have the booth preview. I didn't make any announcements for that, but if you click the Comic Art Live link in the menu, you can now check out the number of exhibitors that are out there, the number of artworks that have already been added, as well as what the panel schedule is. So you can put those into your schedule. And one thing that's not all properly formatted yet, but the feature that I mentioned we were going to add for the exhibitors, where you can save the exhibitors, is actually already in there. So when you're logged in and you go to that exhibitor page, go ahead and save any exhibitor you want. It'll just it's like bookmarking it, so that there's going to be a special save tab, so you can just go to anybody you want. So if you want to buy stuff from Adam Hughes at 11 a.m. on Saturday because you're premium, you got an easy, quick shortcut to get over to Adam's exhibitor table. So there's that. And so why don't we get on the show? Let me bring in the other hosts. We've got Will Gabrielle and Mike Berkey and Glenn Brunswick. Good evening, guys.
Hey.
Bill.
Hey, nice guys. To see you.
Glenn and Mike.
You know, Bill, I got to say, I remember your origin story a year ago, like when you walked into that cave with that lame leg of yours, found that stick, struck it like, really hard, and transformed yourself into this awesome Asgardian creature that flew to a boat and hung out with the skipper. I can't even believe how that happened. It was just like, anyway.
How times have changed, right? I mean, I had never expected us to be doing what we're doing today. Just when we started that, I just thought it would be a once a week thing, and if we were going to keep that going steady. But yeah, it's pretty cool that we've kept this thing going for a year and actually have grown it to something that was nothing like what I anticipated it being. So
and like when Mike got bitten by that radioactive moth that he tried to convince everybody was a spider. It's like crazy,
I hear you.
With great fluttering comes great.
You lost
responsibility.
Yep, he's off the rails now.
You lost.
So yes, everybody was. We had a good time last night, even despite all my mistakes. So I hope nobody got turned off by that. And I don't know what that crinkling sound is. I can hear it, but I don't know what it is. It sounds almost like.
I think it has my phone, but I'm trying to mess with it. But it's because I hear it crackling here. It's not typing.
Yeah, we're losing your volume. It's there, but it's really, really low.
Yeah.
And Nick Perucci calls us the Four Musketeers. So there's another nickname.
Maybe if I switch to.
I don't know, man.
A little better.
Maybe if I switch to Wi-Fi.
We might be the Three Musketeers at some point tonight. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what that sound is. Pretty weird though.
Hold on.
It does sound like you're typing.
It does. I am not typing.
All right. All right. Everybody's chanting to bring in our guest this evening. Look at
That's right.
McCoy. Yeah. So how about? Well, I don't want to mute Glenn until he figures out whether he can do the show or not. Or maybe because I still hear the crackling. And we got this.
Still bring in our amazing guest, right?
Yes, yeah. You know what I'm going to do is I'll just mute him for the time being, and when he pops back in, we'll see if the crackling continues. Hey, Mike.
Hey,
Good
guys.
evening.
How's it going?
Mike, put him in the upper center. Oh, happy days.
Oh yeah, no, I'm dropping myself down here. Exactly. That. So any comments will cover up my mug.
First off, I got to say one thing. When I submitted my picture for the Comic Art Live show, I made a major bungle, and I wore a Warriors hat. I collect NBA hats, and
What?
yes, I wore a Warriors hat, and I got a little bit of grief from some of my art friends and regular friends. So I had to wear this to rectify that. I got a lot of grief.
Yeah, nobody's upset about the Knicks.
No,
They're doing very well this year.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, there's nothing. You can't complain about their team at all. But hey, Ruben wanted to have you pronounce your last name, and that would be good because I know that I've been mispronouncing it the 3 or 4 times I mentioned that you were going to be on. So how do you pronounce your last name, Mike?
It gets butchered all the time. I answer everything, but it's Gowcharan.
Gowcharan. Okay.
Yeah,
that was pretty close.
I had a nickname back in school. Remember Different Strokes? Remember the bully I used to beat up Arnold back in the day?
Bagley.
What's his name? It's on the tip of my tongue.
Gooch.
The Gooch. Okay,
The
The Gooch.
Yeah, that stuck with me over the years. So I answered that too.
All
Yeah,
right.
there you go.
I do pay attention to the private chat every now and again. All right. Well, I'm not sure. Glenn is still muted, so I'm not hearing the crackling. So we know it's got to be popping around.
Can he speak though? Oh, he went out.
Well, not until he. So we're gonna get started with that.
Yeah.
So Mike, if you've watched a few of our episodes, we always go through the whole origin story thing first, as far as how you got started, being interested in comics to begin with, and then how you got turned on to buying comic art. I can let everybody know that, and I'm still hearing that crackling, as weird as it sounds, with Glenn being muted. I don't know what that's from, but I apologize if everybody else can hear it too. But I was gonna say, Michael, you've been a member of CAF since the summer of 2003, which is when which is like 3 or 4 months after we launched the site. So you've been, I don't know what your ID number is, but actually I can check it out. You're number 157. So that is incredibly low. There's hardly anybody that are below 250 that are still active in the hobby. So I have to commend you for that, because not many people stuck around that long.
I'm an OG from even back there in the Lowry and whatever the other iteration of that was before that. So since 99, maybe 2000, whatever iteration it was.
Right. Yeah, probably 99. I think that's about when I joined the Comic Art L.
Yeah, Comic Art L was the main meeting point for all of us, really, on the internet at the beginning.
Yeah, I'm aging myself here.
All of us.
Well, I mean, if you were watching Different Strokes live, then yeah, you definitely are. I mean, I was too.
Yeah.
You're kindred spirit.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, Glenn has left the building, so I think, and I don't know if the crackling is going to stop or not, but I still hear it. I don't know. I apologize, everybody. I have no idea what that is. I have literally my hands can be up, and I'm not hearing it. So it's weird. Anyway, it's okay. We're going to get through it. So, Michael, your origin story.
Well, basically like everybody else's at some point, just a small color, different instances. But my origin story is, as a kid, I grew up playing baseball, collecting baseball cards and basketball cards back in the day. My cousin used to collect the galores, but the one instance I remember comic books in particular, he showed me some cool comic books in his basement, and he had a ton of these OG comics, but the one that stuck out of my mind, and I think Berkey, you might know this one. It's the Romita cover with Spider-Man being held by Kingpin. That image right there it was a classic cover.
Well, 60 he's swinging him. 51 he's over top of him.
Over top
now,
of
the
him.
one he's swinging might be swinging is that he also swings him on 84.
It's probably the one where he's not swinging, but he's holding by the arm or something, like from behind.
Oh, that's 69. That's 69.
Oh, that's 69, where Spidey is cringing and he's holding them.
Yeah, that image like kind of haunted me when I was a kid. So I picked up that book, and then that Spider book hooked me and I've been a Spider-Man collector ever since I was like maybe 5 or 6.
That's awesome.
I really didn't get collected in the comic books till maybe when I moved to Jersey. We used to have these. I used to live in South Plainfield, so we used to have these memorabilia shows in the mall. So they would have like card vendors and comic books and stuff like that. So that's when I actually really started picking up my groove. It was actually a John Byrne Fantastic Four 259 and 260. That Doom cover right there was just blew me away, and just John's particular artwork was how I got into the actual medium, because I just thought that's what comic books should always look like, that art specifically. So, and then that medium hooked me there. So, but as I got older in the different trade shows, every once in a while the mall would have like a guest artist or something like that. It was like I can't remember the first one. It might have been like I don't know if you remember Louis Small. He was like a small time artist on Vampirella.
It was Vampirella.
Yeah, so he came out and he did a sketch for me, and this was like back in 96, 97. And then I got hooked on just having a small freebie sketch. So my buddy, who was always in the comic books, he would take us to different hotel shows. And that's basically how I got into collecting sketches, but not really the paid sketches. I get the small freebie sketches and, like the small headshots, whatever the artist would provide. I didn't care what they provide, what they drew for me. But what really got me into collecting is when I moved from Jersey to here, my sketchbook got conveniently lost because my mom hated comic books. Hated. And I have this belief, I hope she's not watching, I think she actually chucked that sketchbook out. It disappeared.
Wow.
So ever since I lost that sketchbook, so when I went to, I found out when I first moved to Florida that they had a convention, a big size convention here. So I went to my first Orlando MegaCon, and I was amazed at how you can get different artists, art and all that stuff, and you can get sketches. So my first paid sketch was a George Perez headshot, which I have it somewhere. It's just a Hawkeye sketch, but that started the addiction, of course, just getting a small piece and then seeing other associates get sketches, and that became a habit.
Now, what year would that have been? Would that have been like 96, 97 at MegaCon?
96, 97, give or take, yes.
Because I know Romita was at 97, 98. I went to both of those. I was just curious if you were there.
I probably was, because I got John, I got John in 2002. He did a full body Mary Jane for me, which I wish I can go back in time. He was doing full bodies for $100, which is unreal. I can go back and smack myself and just get more.
Mike, where did you move when you said you moved to here? Where is here from Jersey?
I live in Ocala, Florida. If you're familiar with the areas, we're in Central Florida, about like an hour 20 from Orlando, about 40 minutes from University of Florida. Okay,
cool. And Ruben asked, how old were you when your mom threw out the sketchbook?
I was probably about 20.
Wow. I can see you throwing out comic books, but an actual sketchbook.
Clean up your ass.
I'm just guessing because it just disappeared. Like I have my comic books, but it that mysteriously disappeared. And the thing that drives me nuts, the one good sketch I had on there was at the end. Stephen Platt, I met him at a store signing in Jersey, and he did. Remember the Moon Knight cover where he did the replica of the 300 with McFarlane?
Yes.
He did a full body for me, replicating that. $50, full body, disappeared.
Wow. Yeah.
I still get a little upset about that. So yeah.
I always tell people his very first American convention, he did a local in Akron, Ohio, near me in 1993. He set up. He was like 19 or something, and he had a stack of all his Flash Annual 5 pages there. I remember that like it was yesterday.
Yes, sir.
So you moved from sketches to you started getting into published pages?
Not really. Actually, that's the funny thing. At the time, I was just a fringe collector, so I didn't publish till much later. I was just getting like George Perez when I first got him, like his full body was like $100. So I was going more like those single character pieces.
Okay.
But and then a lot of people on this chat know me for another reason. I've got an infamous nickname. They called me Jam King and the Jam Master. I kind of, with two other friends of mine, we kind of did jam collections back in the day. So like when you see all these jam pieces, a lot of these collectors are, I don't want to say they're influence of my collection, but I did some of the earlier jams back in the day. I did like the layout pieces. I don't know if you know the name Doug Resnick and Paul Singh. Us three back in the day kind of formulated how we would do jam pieces. I got to credit Paul because he's the one guy that kind of got me going on, which you'll get to see some of my pieces later, on actually creating a layout and have different artists add to it. So that's how I collected art back then, because then I thought published pieces were out of my price range. Little did I know they really weren't. So I collected jam pieces thinking I'm getting art on the more affordable end. And that's how my collection grew.
And you would take like sketchbook to different conventions, so you could go, or you would actually commission directly with these artists?
Both.
Okay.
Actually, my first interaction with an artist was actually George Perez again and John Romita Jr. And Spencer was instrumental in helping me get these pieces, and he's been a good friend and helped me talk to different artists and stuff. Like, believe it or not, I don't know if, Mike, you might remember. I used to be an art rep back in the day. I don't know if you remember that.
No, who'd you rep?
Sal LaRocca and Pasquale Ferry for a bit.
No kidding.
Yeah, I've only did it for about maybe 2 years,
Huh.
but that helped me get my feet wet talking to artists and even conventions, because I got a lot of times I got exhibitor badges from Hero, from Megaton, and different places, so I was able to get in early per se, sometimes ahead of the normal traffic.
Sure. Get a foot in the door. Funny you mentioned those two guys. Those are two of the first guys that I remember, which disappointed me personally. They were two of the first guys that started penciling their art. Their finished art was pencils only.
Yep.
That I remember. And I was so disappointed, going like, where is the inks? In the middle 90s. They're the first that I remember. I'm going like, where are the inks? Where are the inks? And I started hearing, that's when I first started hearing blue lines, and then, there's an ink somewhere, or it wasn't even published with ink. And that just drove me crazy because you didn't know what was what after that point,
Exactly.
But beautiful art. They did beautiful art. So
yeah, they Salvador used to do always pencil and inks, but then there's a part where he was on I don't know if you remember the book Extreme X-Men. It was all completely penciled, and they shot the book directly from the pencils. So I guess that probably might have started the rage of actually pencils only, then blue lines and all that other stuff.
So it is Glenn. I saw what you were doing, Bill.
I was trying everybody just to see.
I was muting myself to see if it was me too.
I'm kind of at a loss. I'm not really sure who it is.
I thought when you muted Glenn, it went away.
No. Remember, it was happening when Glenn wasn't even here.
Oh, you're right.
That's why.
I think, no offense, it might be Mike's ceiling fan. Is that possible?
I can take it off.
Well, let me
Here's my ceiling fan. I got it on. I'll take it off real quick.
I'm going to mute his mic just while he's not talking. See, but now his mic is muted, and do we still hear it? Yes, we still kind of hear the crackling. That just doesn't make any.
That's the weirdest thing.
I know, we've never had anything like it. So it can't be Glenn, because it was doing it when Glenn wasn't here. And I'm gonna. This is just my experiment tonight.
Mute all five of us.
Well, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna mute Will now. So now we got two. Will and Mike G are muted. I'm gonna mute Mr. Berkey. He's muted now. And it's still going on. I'm gonna mute Glenn, and I'm gonna mute myself next. And if this thing keeps crackling, I don't know what. Well, okay, it did stop. So Glenn left, and that just doesn't. But I don't really know. And I'm back in.
I think it's a gremlin. I just want to say it's a gremlin.
No, with Glenn, I said with all of us four in it, it was okay. Did you unmute Mike and see?
All right, one more. Here we go.
It's gone.
Okay. I don't know. That doesn't make any sense because it was
now it's back.
It just came back.
It's back.
Son of a gun! What the heck?
Well, let's keep going. I mean,
let's keep right. There's nothing we can do about it. I don't get it.
There's an invisible ghost typing while we're talking.
So Mike, you rep these guys, these artists for a couple of years. What made you stop? Was there any reason, or?
It just with work and everything. I was just I don't see how you guys do on a daily basis, working a day job, coming home at 6 o'clock. I was just newly married and everything like that, and just.
None of us have a day job anymore. That's the thing.
Yeah, I had a day job too. So I would stay up till maybe sometimes like after dinner, 8, 9, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and I don't see how you guys do it. Well, if you had a day job, I couldn't personally do it. But it was, it was actually funny how I became an art rep. It was a Fantastic Four cover that Salvador. It was a Spider-Man and Johnny Storm cover that that I wanted. I actually found his email address from, I forgot how I found it, but I emailed him. He said, if I was asking if I can buy the cover, and he said he would love to if he didn't have an art rep. So I was like, well, something popped in my head to ask him, if you sell me this cover, I'll be your art rep. I don't have any experience in this, but he agreed, and I was shocked. So I was his art rep for about a year to 2 years. I leaned on Spencer, and I leaned on Quan. If you guys know Quan, of course, who doesn't know Quan? But Quan,
Sure.
Helped me out with meeting different collectors and stuff. This is like around the beginning of the internet age, so I really didn't have many contacts other than Lowry back then, and then it wasn't how comic art fans is now, where you can reach out to somebody at a drop of a dime. So so it was very challenging back then.
Yeah, people don't realize. I mean, you're speaking our language. How much time and effort and work and lost sleep, and I mean, Mike and I would be on the phone frequently. A few nights a week, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. And Mike at that point had a day job. I had another business, so I was more flexible, but I had little kids, so I was up early. I mean, you lose sleep. That's how you get it done if you have other obligations. But you've definitely had your taste of that.
I said before the internet, I said I had a 10-hour hospital job, and I owned a sports car and comic shop, and I was still doing the art on the side. And those were some sleepless nights back pre-internet.
I can't imagine.
Ugh.
Yeah, I don't know how Mike did it. I was 5 hours a night, and Mike was like 3.5. Like,
I had a lot of droopy eyes at the hospital, and almost got in trouble for it a few times.
But look at you now.
Exactly.
Yeah. I always tell people, I said, I always wanted those sleep. I used to have before the internet, I used to have $400 and $500 phone bills from making all these calls, trying to do art deals with people and everything. I used to have $400 and $500 phone bills monthly. And then when the internet came about, I said, oh my God, I could talk to people now without a phone bill. I told my brother, I said, I'm at the comic book store. Let's sell it. This internet thing looks pretty cool. I think that's the way to go. I'm getting out of the comic book. So I got out of it in '98, right when I got online.
Yeah.
So it was a good thing.
Yeah, I'm happy that I never wanted to be.
But I had it for 8 years, from '91 to '98. So, but yeah, I can relate. It's a lot of work, man. And I said I'm friends with John Romita Jr., but I never repped an artist. I always wanted I almost repped Joe Jusko once. That was about the only artist I almost repped. But I've never been asked or anything, or else I probably would have. It was a guy known, but nobody asked me, so I just did my own thing.
Like back in the day, I always assumed you repped Romita Sr.
No, I just bought art from him when I'd visit him. That was it.
Right.
Yeah, because he wasn't drawing anymore. Think about it. He retired in '96.
Right.
But and I didn't really meet him till after 2000. We became friends. So I was just visiting him, buying old stuff he already had. So.
Right.
Oh man, there's some interesting comments here.
Yeah, Ruben has a post. You could post that. It's sort of interesting.
I was gonna leave that one alone, but I guess
I'm gonna say yes and no. Joe owed me some art for like 19 years, and he made it. I ended up. Remember when he was doing those really cool corner box painting art pieces that were covers?
Yes.
I got 3 of those, and he said he'd still promise me a small painting, but I haven't gotten it. But I don't expect to, but at least the majority of it is taken care of. So, yeah, Joe's a great guy. He just sometimes gets a little behind on commission lists and things like that, So,
well, painting is slow work, and
that's
the majority of his stuff. He's a guy who probably shouldn't take on too many commissions or special requests because he just doesn't have the time.
But right, Joe is a nice guy. I always say he has a fault where he's almost too nice, like he's agreeing to do things, and he just doesn't have the time sometimes. I mean, I'm talking years and years ago. I don't know how it is nowadays.
I agree with Ruben. Nothing wrong for asking, but it was random. That's
But I said, I'm okay sharing facts, so.
Honestly, commissions are like that, though. A lot of times, a lot of these guys can't say no.
Right.
We picked up an echo. For all of us. What the hell is that?
Yeah.
I blame it on Berkey.
Yeah, it's my fault.
He's an easy target.
Yeah, no, there were a couple other comments about pre-internet, early internet dial-up and faxing copies, and mailing copies, and yeah, all that happened, and it was it was still fun. It was.
I just said I remember the days where, man, I'd come home from the hospital, know a piece of art on eBay was going up, and hit that dial-up, ring, and wait, and then I missed the end of an art auction on eBay. And I'd be throwing things around going, just all mad because my dial-up couldn't get me online.
Hey, so just so we don't get too sidetracked here with this, because I want to get back to Mike, I'll just say that it's funny nowadays when we put out a scan or a picture on the website, or somebody asks you that via email, and they say, "Can I have a better one?" And it's a decent scan. I'm not a crappy scan, and I'm thinking, like, I used to look at fax copies with grainy. I mean, it's just kind of funny to me. I'm like, I used to make decisions on some of the worst pictures you could get of a piece of art. But,
oh yeah, when I got a fax machine, I thought I was like the king of the hill, boy.
Oh yeah, no, that was a game.
You had to make Xeroxes of that and then feed it into the machine, to send somebody a scan elsewhere. That was a riot.
But Mike, did you frequent a lot of conventions to get a lot of these jam pieces, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Most of my conventions were like either Florida and some of the Dragon Cons, but I've been to, my best ones were actually Charlotte. The Heroes Con, I've been to a couple of those. That's probably, I don't know how it is now. I haven't been back since maybe 2010, maybe. But though I went to 2006 and 2010, and I had an excellent time just getting art, sketches, commissions. 2006 was probably my favorite because I got Arthur and Ed McGuinness at the same show, which I didn't. I thought I was going to get maybe one. I didn't expect to get two of them. So that was a fun show. I've been to New York quite a bit when I go home. So, and I was very blessed to go to San Diego about 3 different times. So I've been around.
Yeah,
that's good.
No, that's a good representation of cons. I've never been to Dragon Con.
Dragon Con's
always Labor Day, right?
It's Atlanta, right? It's Atlanta.
Yes. But it's I haven't been for a while, but it's spaced out and all over the different hotels and stuff like that, and the cosplay is completely insane, and the debauchery.
I agree.
So Sharon would feel right at home there then.
That brings a whole new aspect to your convention weekend. Possibly.
Exactly.
Correct.
Yeah. Right. I've never been to Dragon Con either, but I mean, all the friends that I have that go there absolutely love it, and it's, so one of these days I'll probably go.
That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard.
And Mikhail has offered a peace offering to the ghost, and it hasn't. It still hasn't left us this evening.
For the love of God, make sure you're not wearing lipstick.
Oh.
Hey, he was committed, man. You got to give the guy credit. He was committed.
Hey,
I had a couple people called me after that show, and they go, "What the hell was he doing?" I go, "He was doing the Scarlett Johansson bit from Avengers." He goes, "I didn't know what he was doing. I just thought it was weird."
That was fun.
Come on, people. You got to know your Marvel movies.
I told them, I go, "It's Avengers 2.
Yeah.
Yep. We all got it.
Mikhail.
Yeah, Mike's gonna wear some mascara tomorrow, I believe. Anyway, back to our conversation. Yeah. Yes, we're getting a little sidetracked this evening.
So, do we have any pieces? Little bit. Do we have any pieces, though, Bill?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we can start showing some good jams.
Well, we're gonna jump into a few different things here. So I'll just pull up the first one.
What the?
Hey!
Wow.
Is that like Spidey and Poison Ivy?
No, that's Mary Jane. It's from the Amazing Spider-Man 60 cover. It's
that's a cover.
Yeah, I sent a bad image. Yeah, it's the
No, that's beautiful.
60. If you're not familiar with the storyline, the Centipedes is part of the villain Kindred, which is revealed to be Harry Osborn. So
okay.
A demonized Harry Osborn. So it's basically him influencing this whole storyline. So it's Mark Bagley, of course, and John Dell. Mark Bagley's. I think he's one of the biggest underrated Spider-Man artists out there, and I think for a long time his art's been pretty on the inexpensive for the most part. But ever since that auction for the first Miles Morales cover and then the first Carnage, I think the reproduction, the alternate cover, his values have gone up pretty considerably.
Bagley art has gone up 2, 3, and 4-fold over the past year. I agree with you there.
But it started before then. I mean, when this stuff was contemporary, when he was putting it out, and these books were ASM on the stands, you could barely give the art away. I mean, Mike and I both had lots of covers and pages, and but yeah, I mean, I'd say even over the last 4 or 5 years, you saw a marked jump in his values. But yeah, certainly those high watermarks that you're mentioning jump even higher for sure. But yeah, no, it's not. It just looks to me like Bagley's channeling Friends a little bit.
That's Ron Friend's Spider-Man all day right there. I was just going to say the same thing. Ron Friends, who was channeling Ditko, totally.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So this is technically, Mike. This is technically a Human Centipede cover.
Hope not.
Yeah. No, that's a great looking cover.
It's good looking. It is good.
And you know what? The back end of that centipede almost looks like a heart. You know.
It is.
It is. Yeah,
okay, that's what I was saying. Yeah.
Yep. It's like beautifully disturbing. The centipede.
Right.
Disturbing.
Yeah. At first, I didn't know if that was a female Doc Ock for a second. You know, when you first looked at it.
Yeah, it's basically, it was during the storyline. It was a mysterious character, so it was kind of like how they did the Hobgoblin storyline. And they had multiple suspects, and it became Harry Osborn.
Right. Everybody had to guess, right? Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that Harry, always getting into trouble.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's almost like we're in a fish tank, everybody. That's just the weirdest thing ever. All right, let's look at some more art.
Oh, hey.
My John Byrne pencil commission from I got what years? It's probably 2003, 2004. He only did 4 of these. Do you guys know the backstory on why he stopped doing pencil commissions?
I've heard a couple different stories, so please share.
From what I'm told, someone got their commission inked, and John was not very happy that this particular piece was inked, and he ever since that incident, he doesn't offer pencils anymore. He basically does pen and ink. So I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know what set him off. It was basically, I think it was an Avengers cover. I think it was an Avengers 4 recreation, and I think Joe Rubenstein actually inked it, and I guess John saw it and flipped out, and I have no idea.
Wow.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
That's the story.
He's a very, shall we say, principled guy. So wow. But that's a doozy. That's a doomie. Is that 11? Is that 11 by 17?
It is. And for the longest time, I was like debating, like when I first got it, am I going to get this inked? But then I whiffed and waffled, like I'm just going to leave it in pencils. But I've always had the dream of getting like Terry Austin to ink it, but I was told he wouldn't. He doesn't do any inking commissions ever.
No, but that is some really sharp, tight John Byrne work right there. I mean, Spidey is he's just about perfect, and so is Doom. I wouldn't touch it. I wouldn't.
No, I think it looks beautiful as is, and I'll tell you what, I love the backgrounds as much as the 2 main characters. Man, he did a phenomenal job there.
Yeah, he nailed it. He nailed it. That's a good looking piece.
But
Doomy, Doozy.
I said we got a new name, Bill. Doomy.
Save that for tomorrow, Mike.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, put those in reserve, Mike, and save them for tomorrow. We got Claimy the other week.
Claimy, Doomy, and Triple Dog Doozy.
Yeah,
Mike, I don't want to know about your personal business, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Doomy part, I don't know.
Yeah, no. All right. See, we're gonna look at some
Doozy with Doom combined.
We get it, but
yes, we did. We don't want to get it. All right, now I
got to find some Doom art.
Whoa. Olivier Coipel. It took me 3 conventions to get this piece. This was back in 2010, I think, San Diego. I got his email, and I emailed him if he could get me a commission, and he said, yeah, it should be done for San Diego. Get to San Diego, wasn't done. And it's like, okay, I'll get it for you by Dragon Con, which was about 3 months later. Get the Dragon Con, of course, wasn't done. And he said, okay, I'll get you for New York. So I was like, all right. So I get to New York, and, he was playing, I don't have it done. But then he's messing around and pulls out of his portfolio and shows me this beauty. He went above and beyond what he was going to do.
Is that supposed to be MJ as Red Sonja?
It's based. Remember the Byrne, the
Team Up 79.
Yeah, I said he did the cover right with Red Sonja and Spidey.
That is
his
Mary
take.
Jane becomes Red Sonja, basically.
It's his take on it, correct?
Yeah. It's beautiful. I said if Spidey wasn't holding a web line, it almost looked like Spidey was sitting on her sword. That's beautiful.
And I got it for a steal. He hooked me up big time. So because he couldn't get it done for San Diego and couldn't get it for Dragon, so he went completely insane with his new style. Because he was only doing pen and ink, I believe, back then, and maybe a little bit of Copic, but on this piece he went all out.
He did like Copic mark. That's like Copic markers, not a watercolor, right?
There's some watercolor in it.
Oh, is there? Okay. No, that's nice.
You picked that up through Quan?
Before Quan, it was right. Remember when Randy was helping him a little? It was before Randy got involved. Then Randy got involved, and shortly after, Quan helped me get it at New York.
Very nice. Very nice.
This has an interesting backstory. Frank Cho. There's gonna be a piece later. You'll see that I was doing like a jam piece, and Frank worked on one of my jam pieces, and you'll see later. But he drew a Mary Jane on it, and he finished and everything. He kind of looked at it. Jim Chung was sitting right next to him, and he kind of erased it completely and gave it back to me. He said, I'll just get you next year. That totally devastated me. So when I saw him next year, he finished the MJ piece, but I was able to get on his commission list, and he knocked this beauty out for me. I don't know if you can see the Mary Jane. You see where she's wearing pants?
Yeah.
He had her in an underwear, and I was like, oh man, my wife's gonna kill me if she's just wearing a pantyhose. So just underwear. And I remember okay, I'll fix it. So he erases the underwear and he puts a penis on there. I'm like, was this bad?
Oh, no.
While she's asking Peter to get her extra large tampons when he swings away.
Yeah, I was pretty mortified, but then he was laughing about it. Like, okay, I'll put jeans on her.
Wow. Well, he was just trying to make it so your wife would approve it in one way or another. So he was testing you.
I would hope so.
She still only Frank can.
Yeah, once my wife saw the piece, when she read it, she was not really too pleased. But
she likes this, right?
She did. She likes.
And we got bricks. So the key is we got bricks.
Oh boy, bricks.
Gotta love them bricks.
Bricks, bread, butter, waffles, eggs, and tampons, Mike.
Hey, baby.
What a story.
And she's wearing like her Spidey 42 outfit too, with the jeans and the cute top.
Good night.
All right, let's keep the art rolling.
I will call this probably my first successful jam piece. I've had other jam pieces before, but I had one where I didn't have a layout, and if you don't have, my personal opinion, if you don't have a layout, artists will draw it big or small, not a cohesive piece.
Right.
So on this, I forget the cover this is based on, but Ali Garza did a layout. It was a X-Men Pacheco cover with basically all the X-Men in positions. Like the Spidey piece was Nightcrawler, Sentry was Colossus, Wolverine was still Wolverine, of course. Storm was Spider-Woman. So I got the layout done, and I went to different artists to do the different characters, of course. My personal opinion with jams, I always try to get the best artist I can for the first person, and then if you can get the best person possible, everyone else is going to step up their game. So the first person I don't know if you know Rich DeMonicus. He reps Brian Hitch. So Rich did me a solid. I sent him the piece, the layouts, and he sent it to Brian all the way to England. So then Brian did Captain America and sent it back to me, and I was like blown away. So I went to different shows. The next show I got George Perez to do Sentry. Then at Heroes, this one's kind of funny. The Spider-Man on it, Arthur Adams did the Spidey, but he wasn't my first target. I went to Travis. Travis Charest was at HeroesCon, which he's hardly ever on the East Coast show. So I had X amount of cash out there, and I walked up to Travis and I showed him the piece. He just looks at me like, nah, I'm not interested. And that just like totally blew me away. But not once he noted me, I just walked straight over to Arthur's table. It took Arthur a while to pop in, but he looked at the piece and said, okay, I'll do it, and I'll just take it home with me. So Arthur, if you look at the piece, like the Spider-Man piece is like almost, I would say, published figure, in my opinion. So Arthur just really killed it on there, and just everything else.
Oh yeah, he looks good. Yeah. Spidey looks good.
Yeah,
they all look great. This looks like a public. When you first showed it, I go, "Oh, that's a great published cover."
Yeah, that's how I try to get that's how I try to approach my gems. To each their own.
Yeah.
I always try to get a layout, and I always go with pencils because just if someone like messed up or something, I can always get an inker to finish it. But I've been blessed that all the jam pieces I have, I didn't have to worry about having someone fix it or anything like that. I always get in pencils, and I've been fortunate everything fell into place.
Yeah, that looks great.
Hey, Mike,
you had to get Spidey done early with him being in the front.
I did.
I said, I don't know how else you could have done the back characters.
Yes, that was my approach.
No, that looks fantastic.
That show took about, let's see. Well, Brian Hitch was a mail away. Ed McGuinness was at a show at Heroes. Arthur mailed me back the piece. Sylvester, I mailed it to him, and then Finch was at MegaCon. So about 3 shows and 2 mail-aways to get completed. And the main thing for me personally, I'm patient, so I know exactly what character I want and who I want for it. So like there's some guys I go to the show and they'll get the first available. I'm very picky. This took like 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of jam pieces I didn't submit to you, but I've been sitting on 5 or 6 years because I'm too picky.
They're partially done. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I can't.
I just wouldn't get it done right.
I wouldn't have the stamina to work my way through that longer than maybe 3 months. I think I'd be done. I want to get it done in the summer or something.
Definitely shows patience on your part.
Yeah, for sure.
And honestly, I'll be honest with you, the cost of all that, if I had to take a guess back then, at most about maybe $1,000 for all of it.
That's awesome.
Now you can't. I can't maybe get 1 or 2 characters for that.
Did each artist date their image? I was just curious. So
yes.
What years? Yeah.
Yeah, it was 2006.
Between 2016 and 19.
2000. No, this was like 2006, 7, and maybe 8.
Oh, okay. Wow.
This is years ago.
I thought that was a recent acquisition.
No, that's old.
Yeah, that one's been around.
Yeah,
around a while.
I said nowadays it'd be hard to get them to do all that.
Yeah, you'd be lucky. Like Arthur, it's hard to get a sketch at a show from him. I mean,
yeah,
he maybe gets maybe 4 or 5
commissions now,
and it's only basically maybe like a bust up. So you're not gonna get a full body from Arthur.
Right.
Wow.
Well, Ron says he's got the patience to do it too.
Oh, I can tell you, I've waited years on commissions. I mean, years, and it doesn't like you have constant communication. I mean, I'll wait. The longest I've waited was 10 years for a piece. So,
wow.
And I know some guys have waited longer on other pieces, but I'm in it for the long haul. So,
well, clearly, I mean, patience is a virtue, as we know.
But that just feels like to me, if you're putting together a complete story or you're after particular pieces, not just an example. It's there's pieces I've chased for 20 years, and sometimes I got it, and sometimes I didn't. But it's a different type of
right.
That's great.
No,
that's great.
Mike Waringo. He was such a good friend. I mean, in this collecting artwork, you meet artists, and a lot of times, some of them become friends, and Mike was an awesome friend. So getting this piece for Mike, this was 2009, 2010. It's basically just Spidey and Johnny together. So he was working on Fantastic Four, but I've always liked Ringo's Spidey. So, I mean, I commissioned him and he did this beautiful piece for me.
Nice. Is this what's the size on most of your jam pieces?
All of them are 11 by 17.
They're all 11 by 7. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that's a nice size because, you know, sometimes I've seen jam pieces, you know, multiple artists, and somebody will do like a double spread size or even larger, which, you know, that's cool. It's really nice to display, but it may not be so convenient trucking it around or mailing it or what have you.
Well, don't get me wrong. I'm terrified. I'm terrified of mail in particular, like art pieces. I get panicked. Like I had one piece. It was a commission that was folded in half, and it had a masonite in it. So I prefer, if I'm doing like any kind of art, I'd rather pick up at a show or have someone pick it up for me in hand.
Yeah. Well, especially these this last year, I think a lot more people would agree with you on that. I've had a few people, you know, say, oh, they don't want to. Can we meet? I don't want to mail it, or you know, express packages. Different companies.
Do FedEx, no post office.
No. There's problems with all of them, Mike. Definitely.
Well, post office more though.
I would say the opposite right now, but
I'd say both.
Both. Yeah.
I have
but it's probably local.
J. Scott Campbell mailed me my commission right around the beginning of the pandemic, and FedEx delivered it to the wrong house. I was lucky that I got the other person's package, so I drove off like a maniac to the other person's house, brought them their package, and they got mine because I was.
Oh, they flipped both of them.
Yeah,
I had a FedEx overnight that I paid, I don't know, close to $100 for, and it took 5 days to get there. Luckily, it got there. And I had another one that said incorrect address coming to me just this past week. I had to call them and tell them it is the correct address. You've delivered here plenty of times. So. Right.
That's a good point, because I know I even delivered a FedEx to Mike Lovitz and it took 16 days for him to get it.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy.
I'm going back on that memory, but more issues with post office. But yeah, I see your point.
Yeah, I had the same thing happen. I was set to get notifications from a USPS delivery. I got an email that night saying that the artwork was undeliverable, the package. And I'd been home all day, so I know nobody came here. So the postman dropped it off the next day, and I told her that. I'm like, I went to the post office, and they said, oh, it's out for delivery. And so that's on day 2. Day 3, they brought it to me, and then the postal lady was like, I don't know what happened. And then the next day, she left a letter in my envelope saying that they tried to deliver my package to like someplace on the other side of town, and that's why it was out for 2 days, and they couldn't find it. But I kept getting emails saying it was undeliverable. So, and there was nothing I could do.
I've gotten many of them. They said, oh yeah, undeliverable today. We'll try it tomorrow. I'm like, you're home all day. What do you mean? You didn't deliver it. You didn't ring a doorbell. You didn't come in the driveway. Don't say you tried to deliver when you did.
I learned something though, dealing with customer service when I was like, waiting on this overnight, and it's the incorrect address, and my window was closing that it could be delivered. And you know how usually you call customer service and, we need to be more specific. They want to know exactly what you want, so they put you to the right department or whatever.
Yep.
And they kept dragging me in circles. And finally I screamed at the at the telephone with an F-bomb, and it took me right to a human being, like right away.
Nice.
So I don't know if that's a trick or not, but I'm gonna try it again if ever I need to.
That's scary. Or even with me, sometimes the guys because with COVID, they're not. When COVID was really bad, my brother, because I get everything shipped to my brother's house, and they'd leave it right up against the garage. Just leave it.
That's a nightmare.
For a signature required package, and I'm going like, oh my god, if I had a rainstorm, oh my lord, would I have been upset? Yep.
Tough times.
Yep.
Oh, look at that.
That's
I saw that the other day. I love that setup. That's awesome.
You might recognize it's John Romita Jr.'s take
Spidey.
on Dad's 100 cover.
Yeah.
I said you almost could put another figure there by Spidey's right knee. You know that.
Actually, there is. For some reason, I sent the wrong image. I do have Spider-Woman there by
Oh, and I was even thinking by his lower hand, you almost could fit somebody there.
I was debating. I guess I could. I haven't done the hand yet, but
I guess it depends on the figure. Somebody that spreads out like a Sandman or something, you know?
Or somebody bald like he's palming their head.
Oh, yeah, Mysterio or Kingpin.
So basically, John Romita Jr. did the
Oh, that's a doozy.
He did the full body, and then as you can tell, I got headshots from like J. Scott Campbell, Olivier Coipel, Steve Epting, Humberto Ramos, David Finch, Brandon Peterson, Mark Bagley, Mike Deodato, Leno Yu, Arthur Adams.
Yeah, so, I think I saw this in the preview yesterday, and I thought, wow, what a great idea. That is just awesome.
There's quite a few takes on this too. There's quite a few of this version out there.
That's awesome.
No, this is a very cool piece.
And the thing, I'll toot Bill's horn on this with comic art fans. I've got a lot of people like reach out to me, asking me my thoughts on how to set up a jam piece. And I've made a lot of friends with people reaching out to me for different jam pieces and all of my stuff in my collection. So comic art fans is very awesome for networking, of course.
With the background characters, Mike, is there any particular theme? Like I noticed a couple of your previous jam pieces were based on Marvel Team Up.
Basically, yes. Marvel Team Up was very influential, like on my Spidey career. But this particular one, it's just based on the cover. The only original, if Mike's probably familiar, the only ones that are pretty much sticking to the classic is the Doom's where he's supposed to be.
From the 100?
Yeah, I'm watching. He's talking.
Mary Jane, Doom are the only two consistents from and everything else I just went by art, like whatever artist I was going for. I try to stick to their strengths.
Got it. Okay.
I said, do you tell them which character you want, or do you tell them draw your best character? Or what do you tell them?
I tell them what I want, but I like for example, like when I went to Steve Epting, he was big on Captain America. Then the Lady Loki, Olivier Coipel was on Thor, so I went with that. J. Scott Campbell, of course, was anything's Black Cat or Mary Jane.
Oh yeah, that's good.
But the only one I gave Leeward to was David Finch. I let him pick the characters, other than the Doom, so he picked the Green Goblin right there.
Now, who drew the? I was just curious. Is that Gwen right by Spidey, the left of Spidey's head?
No, that's Emma Frost.
Oh, that is Emma. Okay, I couldn't tell who that was. And who drew that one?
Terry Dodson.
Oh, okay. I saw the signature. I couldn't make it out. Yeah.
And that's Satana, right? Is that Satana in the upper right corner?
No, that's female Loki.
Female Loki. Okay.
This is when Loki was a girl, and that was Olivia was drawing him during that storyline at this particular time when I got this commissioned.
Okay.
Man, you need a good Gwen on this cover.
I know, right? I might have messed up there.
ML asked, was this the one you said someone was selling unauthorized print of?
No, there was another guy that got this. He has a very similar image. He had Iran Friends in the middle, but he had Todd McFarlane did Scorpion. It was an homage to my piece.
Mm-hmm.
It was a what to your piece?
An homage.
Okay.
Mike knows how to say it. Berkey does not know how to say it. Homage.
Homage.
Yeah, I said, my buddy Jim DeMille came over to the house. He goes, the H is silent. Anybody that says homage doesn't even know what they're talking about. Anyway, it's homage. You don't say the H. I go, I'm saying the H just for the heck of it.
Jimmy was saying it with his pinky up too.
Yeah,
right, exactly. That's what I said. Yeah, Jim, the English teacher. All right.
That's funny. Homage.
Another jam piece.
The new FF.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you recognize it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the new FF. I knew that right away. That's awesome.
FF 349 cover, right? Is that
348 to 350? Yeah.
48, 49.
It's based on the cover, but it's the cover logo basically. So
Okay.
So back then, if I couldn't afford Arthur Adams, I'll make my own. So Jimmy Chung did the layout, and he did Ghost Rider. Lineal Wu did Wolverine. David Finch did the Hulk, and Olivier Coipel did Spidey.
Oh, okay.
That's a great one.
Mike is
You know what would have been cool? You know, I don't know if you'd ever do. You know, if you have I never thought about this, Mike, but this would have been a great thing for you to do. 347. If they were a little lower, get like a professional inker, put a logo on that. You know.
I was actually thinking about that.
Man, I just thought about that. I go, if you get a professional, you know, think about it. How many people get letterers? Letterers probably are begging to do work. Get a professional letterer, put like an old FF logo on that thing. I bet that'd be awesome.
That I consider. I've got one of my commissions not on here that I've got it lettered, so it's something.
Yeah, I just thought about that. That'd be a great idea because I think logos, man, really sometimes make an image that much more impactful.
Right. And to answer Ron's question, I would love to get these inked, but every time I have the mood to get something inked, something else would pop up, and I commission somebody else. So one of these days, I'll actually get all my pieces, either blue line or light boxed or something.
I'm just gonna say I would blue line it just in case. What if they screw it up?
Exactly. I love the pencil format.
Mhm.
I do too. Towards the end of his career, John Romita would do some pencil drawings for me, and I'd show them to people. They go, "Don't ever get it inked. Don't ever let Romita ink it. His pencils are so good; they're better than if he inks it." And I think a lot of these pieces are better than if anybody inked it. I think great pencils should be left as they are, and I think those don't need inked at all. But I think on a blue line, why not? You know?
Yeah, appreciate it.
That's my opinion.
No, I agree.
Yeah, I've got no problem with that. I was talking to somebody earlier today about some of Paulo Rivera and his father, Joe Rivera's, inking Paulo's pencil blue lines. And I've owned a few of those, and I don't mind that at all. I like looking at the pencil work as well as getting to see the final piece as well. I mean, I know as purists, we should like it all on one page, but I've got no problem with that. I think it's pretty cool. And, I know Charlie Adlard worked that way with his inker for like the last third of the Walking Dead books too. And it was cool to see Charlie's pencils. It's like I love Frank Whiteley's pencils. I prefer his pencils work to somebody else inking it. And so I don't have a problem with doing that. And in your case, Mike, I would never ink any of those, those that have to be done as blue lines.
Right. I agree with you there.
That's probably my first real commission I've got. That was back in MegaCon. Like I mentioned before, Spencer helped me get this piece. It's basically Spidey holding Mary Jane.
Is that Perez?
It is.
How about that, huh?
Based on the Crisis number 7 cover? I forget. I'm pretty
bad.
Yeah,
Crisis 7. Yeah.
Crisis 7 with Spidey 121 theme.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Oh, Christopher, yeah, I checked on Glenn. He's just having a lot of technical difficulties.
As are we this evening.
Yeah, we have another episode next Tuesday. So
I think he gave us a Trojan horse virus,
That is crazy, that little tapping. That is a riot.
Well, I wouldn't call it a riot, but there was actually an alert on StreamYard when I started, when I logged in about an hour before the show, and it said something about some kind of problem, but it was related to YouTube. Like maybe we weren't going to be able to stream to YouTube. So I don't know. I might jump on their support thing and ask them what this could be, because it's the strangest thing
I do think it is somebody typing, and somehow it's somebody not on our link that we're just hearing they're typing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Somehow.
Hey, but like the show anyway, everybody.
Yeah.
Even with this annoyance to us all.
World of Warcraft. Okay.
All right, here is another. Man, it's like that centipede is crawling around in our microphones.
Right.
This is Tim Sale. This is actually in my sketchbook. This is one of the few pieces that's on 11 by 17. This I was going to Heroes Con that same year when I met Arthur and Travis. I knew he was going to be at the show, so I asked him if he was doing sketches or anything. He said, yeah, he actually had time now. So if I could go ahead and send him my sketchbook, like, sure. So I mailed it out to him, picked it up at Heroes, and I was blown away what he did. This actually became a cover to his sketchbook cover back in 2006. I forget exactly when. What sketchbook? So yeah, and this became remember when he did Heroes, the TV show?
Uh-huh.
He did Ali Larter's character in this pose, exactly the same thing.
Yeah, this is a striking convention. It really is. It's a standout.
It's like a rat chewing on someone's power
I was
cable.
just saying the same thing. It sounds like a little varmint in there now.
Carlos, that's a quality peach.
Quality fruit.
Peach.
Yes.
Well, you all know what that means, right?
Oh yeah.
As the kids would say.
Oh
yeah. Wow. No, that's a beauty.
No, it
that is nice.
Looks familiar.
Yeah, I need to get a Tim sale someday. All right.
X-Men, did he, Bill?
I don't only collect X-Men, Mike.
Oh, you're the X guy.
I don't know about that. I don't know. Jason
#1.
D'Ambrosio is the X guy. I'm kind of like the second X guy, maybe.
Yeah.
All right. Man, this rodent is really starting to frustrate me. I should stop talking about it.
I said that is so funny.
Just gotta ignore it. Let's power through.
This is from Spider-Verse. I forget the exact page number, but Olivier Coipel, before Spider-Verse actually took off from the movies. This is a page from Amazing Spider-Man. I forget the issue, but this is the final quarter splash page with Superior Spider-Man and all the different Spider-Man about to break down and fight. This, of course,
that don't look like Andrew Garfield in that bottom right.
It is, because I think Olivier based this Spider-Man on him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I like the Captain Universe version there. That's like quite a throwback.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a sharp piece. I mean, the image of Superior Spider-Man is, I mean, it's superior. The design of the mask, the eyelids, all of it. It's grandiose.
Mm-hmm.
Damn cool. And this is one of my favorites out of the lot that you sent us too.
Wow.
This was when I mentioned friends. Over the years, John and I have been friends for many years, sharing our pain of being a Mets fan. So I've got quite a few pieces, but this one was back 2018. He was doing some charity sketch pieces, so I emailed him, hey, would you do something a little more if I paid a little more? So he did a pencil Spidey versus Batman in pencils, and then I got Mark Morales to ink it for me.
The same piece or light box?
Oh, it's inked on, because what I guess I should have sent a picture of the pencils. The pencils were, I wouldn't say they were tight, but they weren't loose either. But it could have used some inking to tighten it up a little bit, and Mark just killed on it.
No, that ink job is spectacular. That is awesome.
That's impressive. Yeah. Well, we were just talking the other night about how difficult it can be for artists to draw rain, and this is amazing. You know, I mean, it's a definite storm in there, and you can tell it. I mean, with the way it's been drawn. I mean, I like the just the modulation and the way that the background is. It's beautiful.
It is nice.
It's funny. Mark Morales on Instagram, I did like a work in progress on the pieces on this. I guess I didn't realize how they did the rain spots. He took a razor blade and I guess chipped it a little bit. That terrified me. I was like, holy crap.
That's a technique from Romita Sr. Yep, using a razor blade for rain.
Well, and they also used to use a quarter. You'd use a quarter to kind of make some sort of effect as well.
Yeah.
Now that I've not heard before.
No?
Yeah, with the divots and a quarter, that works as well.
Oh, I get you. Huh. I would never have thought that.
Yeah, not flat, but the edge. Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
It bites into the paper in an interesting way.
Very interesting. I mean, I've
That's a
seen the
great
razor blade work.
But that's old school stuff right there, using razor blades and quarters and whatever was sitting around your desk.
Yeah.
All right, on to some more artwork
That's
here.
great. All great.
Huh.
Whoa.
My Arthur Adams piece. This was years in the making. Actually, the story was back in 2014 when I was in San Diego. I got an Arthur's list for a commission, so I paid X amount for a Spidey commission. Well, actually, more of a Mary Jane commission, but I don't know if you realize Arthur's list is kind of long, and Arthur, with regular work and all that, takes him quite a while to get through that list. So every year, I'd email him back, "Hey Arthur, getting close to my piece," and he'd be nice about it and say, "Nah, I'm not close" or anything like that. So about last year last year around the pandemic, I noticed in the Marvel previews that he was going to be doing a Spider-Man cover, which you really don't see Arthur doing Spider-Man covers. You see him doing like X-Men covers and stuff like that. So I went ahead and messaged him, "Hey Arthur, do you think you might sell this cover to me?" Which I hadn't even seen it yet. With the previews, you just see who the artist is. So I just took a shot in the dark to have an opportunity to get the cover. And Arthur, you didn't really say anything. And about maybe 3 months later, he sends me this work in progress of the cover and asked me if I wanted it. I was like, sure. So he took my deposit from the commission, and I just had to pay a little something on top of that to get this. This cover is massive.
And this is published.
It's published, yes.
Wow.
I like that touch, Mike. Little, you had to pay a little something.
I sold some pieces to get this, but yeah, it's probably my biggest art piece. It's about 18 by 24. It is huge.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
he draws big.
Who is the background character?
Oh, remember the cover? Remember the Bagley cover when I was talking about us mentioning Harry Osborn? That's the Harry Osborn character, Kindred.
Oh, okay.
That's a beauty. Dang.
Uh-huh.
Yep. I was very pleased. And of course I have Norman Osborn on the cover too. Can't hurt either.
No.
But Spidey is shooting his web and nothing's coming out.
Yeah, he's all out. Yeah, I just recently got this frame that
Yeah, he's just getting ready.
Yeah, this thing is massive. So I got it framed with the cover, so with the actual book. So yeah, this is probably one of my top grails. If I can't get a McFarlane, this is my second best piece I'll ever get.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry, Bill, but I have to say that is a doozy.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Ron mentions he's been on Art's list for about a decade. Yeah. Well, it's tough, right? I mean, you gotta wait for it sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See what you started, Bill.
I know.
With this
I know.
doozy talk.
Yes, I know. I apologize.
Do me doozy.
Well, what are you gonna do? If I hashtagged, we'd have a lot there to play around with, but I don't.
Think of all these great words we could all copyright and maybe get some money off it, huh?
Good luck with that.
I don't think anybody's gonna want to use these.
I don't think I can copyright any of them either.
No, they're too. I think they're too generic. But we've got one more artwork to look at. One more.
My probably my greatest jam that I get complimented on, the Spider-Verse jam. So I had Matthew Clark did the layouts. If you can tell, I had Arthur did the Scarlet Spider. I had Humberto did Superior. David Finch did 2099. Ed McGuinness did Miles Morales, and I had J. Scott Campbell do Classic Spidey.
But there's still more different variations of Spidey, right?
Yeah, I picked my 5 favorites.
Okay, I was just wondering. Yeah, I said, would you ever get like a J? Oh, you already got Campbell. I was gonna think if you'd ever want to. Yeah, you don't really want a Spider-Gwen on there, right? Or Armored Spider-Man or any of them.
I would, but I didn't want to. There's some pieces out there that have multiple, and I felt like on one board. I think 5 to 6 was pushing it. So I
Yeah,
just a nice big piece. So I just kept it.
Yeah, but the only thing you could do is I was thinking somebody crawling or shooting off the bottom of that would be about the only spot that would fill up anything in there.
But you know what this piece feels like? It feels like if you ever wanted to expand it, it would interlock very easily.
I could.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's actually a really cool idea, Will. I mean, I could see doing that.
Then you get Spider Ham and, you know.
Yep.
Exactly. Where the hell is Spider Ham?
Yep.
I regret not putting Spider Ham in that.
Well, like Will said, you just have to make a couple interlocking covers. I mean, you could do a lot with this.
Yep.
I have one of these days if we ever have a show, Bill, I have a piece that's like this. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 3 or 4 11 by 17s crosswise and 4 or 5 down. But the overall piece is like 3 feet by 9 feet. And I did like a Spidey 100 thing with an artist friend of mine. And each one, what's cool is each piece is shown separately. It's its own piece. Then when you connect them, it's a big, like a Spidey 100 piece, but it's like 10 feet tall.
That'd be awesome.
Oh, my Lord.
It's sort of cool. A guy in the Philippines, I had to do it for me, commission, but I'll show it one day. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to be framing that one.
I know.
Nope.
I could probably find a spot for it, but yeah, it's pretty awesome.
I always had this dumb idea, and I don't mind saying ideas, because you can't really call this a jam, but you know, a lot of guys like, you know, say in Adam Hughes, they always like to do those quickie profile sketches, right? Well, I thought it'd be cool to do, you know, take your 11 by 17 and, you know, put it horizontal and just have like two heads, you know, face off. Like try to pick two characters that complement each other, but use different artists for those head sketches. You know, you could have a Magneto and a Professor X, or you know,
that would be called Dueling Heroes, Bill.
See, there you go. I knew you'd bastardize any idea that I, you know, but a Jean Grey, Emma Frost, right? I mean, and you can get Phil Jimenez to do one, and Terry Dodson to do another. I mean, I think, you know, as a concept, I think it'd be cool. But again, I don't think I'd have the patience to do it. As much as I like the idea, you know, and I thought this is a simple one. It's a profile. Everybody can knock out a profile.
Yeah.
True.
No, it's funny you say that. I had John Romita, just so you know, everybody's familiar with those IDW books that came out, and I had I got paid in books, no money, and I had John Romita do some little commissions for little certificates of authenticity one day when I sell them, and John thought the easiest thing, he did a big circle, and he did Spider-Man and Green Goblin, and he goes, these are easy for me to do, and I go, yeah, let's do 2 figures instead of 1. So he did a profile of Spidey face down with a profile of Goblin. He did like 35 of them for me. So,
Bill, if you ever want Mike not to bastardize an idea of yours, just start saying it in DC terms, and you won't be able to be quite as quick on.
So it's like Superman and Bizarro.
Superman's like,
yeah, Superman and Bizarro, Green Lantern and Sinestro. See, I know some DC.
You know, get into the Earth 2 guys, and he'll really be like,
oh, yeah, Jason, after selling all that art last night, Jason said that we should have a dueling art packers show, because after he sold a dozen pieces of artwork, he was lamenting the amount of packing time he was going to have to invest into the show. So, yeah, that is
okay.
The more you do it, the quicker you get, Jason.
You can have Swamp Thing and a match.
Nice.
Okay. A torch.
Yeah. We got it. Oh man, but
Aquaman and a air blow dryer. You know.
No, yep. See, you bastardized it even further now. You just ruined it for me.
But no, that is a good idea, Bill. I like that thought.
It sounds good too.
Yeah.
I like the it. I you know what? I'm going to do it now. If I get back to a show, I'm going to try to get a couple of those at the first show, just to show you guys that it actually is a good idea.
Yeah, you go ahead and do that, Bill.
All right. Yeah, see Martian Manhunter in a Zippo. There you go. See what you've done, Mike? Yeah.
We got a lot of comments going to start coming.
Oh,
yeah.
boy.
I'll be getting
Spider-Man and Raid. You know.
Oh boy.
I'm
I'm sorry I threw anything into that.
Bill started it.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, I do have to apologize for this chitter chatter thing in the background. I've been trying to check out the support pages just to see if it's something that other people who are streaming this evening are experiencing, and I don't see anybody else talking about it. So I can't imagine what the problem is. But I'm glad that so many people have stuck it out with us. We've had over 80 people in here for most of this chat, even with that clicking going on. Yeah.
So Mike, just before I guess we're gonna wind down, but before we go, what are your next couple of jam pieces you're planning out?
Yeah.
Actually, if anything, I've got one piece that it's been sitting in my portfolio. I've got a Spidey and basically kind of like a street level guys like Punisher, Daredevil, and Punisher, Daredevil. I forgot the third one. Basically like a street level piece. That's the one I've got in the back burner.
Okay. And
but honestly, I'm actually back more collecting published artwork now. So
okay.
I was primarily more into collecting commissions and sketches. I'm just back in collecting pages and force pretty much now. I've picked up a bunch of Bagley pages, pretty much this whole past year. So he's pretty affordable.
I was going to say it's mostly Spidey focused.
Yeah, it's all Spidey focused.
Okay.
You're a smart man, Mike.
Well, I learned from experience. When I first collected, I collected everything under the sun. I realized I couldn't afford all this stuff, so
yeah,
I limited my scope.
I was the same way, and Conan did one guy.
Hey, but the consolation is you probably picked the most expensive character to collect, or one of, for sure.
Yes, sir.
But one that everybody wants, so that's all good. Everybody else, yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple ways to look at it. That's for sure.
Yeah. Do it, Mike.
Oh no!
No, you're the
no.
Don't do it, Mike. Don't indulge in
whip.
You trademarked that, brother. I can't.
No.
I can't. There.
Oh yeah.
Yes, exactly. All right. Well, I hate to call it a night early, but I'll tell you, the clicking has really distracted me too much than I would have rather liked to admit. But Mike, this has been really good. I'm glad. We kind of planned this out almost a month ago, and you were one of the, as far as getting art to me, I think no one has sent me their artwork as quick as you did. You were very organized, so I always appreciate that. I was able to make the slides 3 weeks ago, actually, and so I've been prepared for our chat tonight for a long time. That never happens. I'm usually working right up to the hour before the show, just getting things done. So it worked out great.
Thank you.
And so you want to who do we have next week? You said, Bill, next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday is Disco Stu.
Stuart Neff, is it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Disco Stu.
Known Stu for a long time, and so he'll be on next week. And let's see, who do I'm terrible with schedules, but I know I do have another comic art spotlight on Thursday with Tony Bristler. So that should be fun. And I should say my CAF update on Friday is going to be really short because that is the night that they are doing the drink and draw. I thought they were doing it on Saturday night, but they're going to do the drink and draw on Friday night at 9:30, where they've got it's part of Comic Art Live. I wanted the show to benefit the Hero Initiative a little bit, try to bring in some guests that would be doing some artwork that they would sell for that, and part of that was hosting a drink and draw on our channel here. So we'll do that, and it already sold out. They put it on the sale on their site. People were able to basically request the character they wanted, and they get randomly added to an artist. So it sold out in about a half a day. So I think that's a great thing. And we also, there's a John Paul Leone tribute that's going on, and I know that several artists have made artworks for that all the proceeds to the sales of those will go to the GoFundMe to support JPL's family. I know that Lieber Mayho, Jock, Charlie Adlard, and I'm probably missing a few. It'll help in my announcement tomorrow. But so a lot of really impressive artwork is going to be in Comic Art Live, definitely in Mark Hayes' booth, because he's got several artists that have made works that are specifically to go towards John's family. So yeah, it's shaping up to be a very good show.
That was all the art Mike had. You had all the Ruben's asking. That was all
I
the
was
art.
going to
Right?
respond to that,
We
Ruben.
went through everything.
I think we did.
Yes, we did. We did. Yeah, we had 14 artworks this evening.
And everybody hit those likes. And we have a Dueling Dealers tomorrow night, and we got Comic Art Live Con this weekend.
Exactly.
Looking forward.
And that's true, Nick. I mean, if we could send it directly to the family, that would be one way to definitely take care of it. So I've been spreading the word as best I can to help them out, and I kind of talked to a couple people about doing the tribute panel, and so it's just going to work out pretty well. Tom King's going to be in that, Declan Shelby, and Bill Reinhold, who worked with Leone a lot. So it should be, I think it's going to be a really nice panel. It's on Saturday afternoon at 3 p.m. So if you don't get to see it live on Saturday, definitely catch it afterwards and support any of the artists that are putting work into the show that is going towards their GoFundMe.
Absolutely.
Sounds
All
great.
right.
Mike,
Okay.
it's been a pleasure, man.
Pleasure,
Appreciate
Mike.
you getting on.
Keep the
Thank you
Spidey
for
collection
having me.
going, buddy.
Thank you.
Yep. And thanks, everybody. And so we will see you tomorrow night at 9 on Dueling Dealers, hopefully without the critter in the internet.
And the
Typer
crew
and
here will be
Chipper.
back next Tuesday.
Exactly. Next Tuesday.
Stu Neff, there's our guest.
Stu Neff. Yeah, this will be fun. Stu's actually sent me all of his artwork, too. So, what's that?
With Glenn as well.
Yeah, hopefully
Yes.
we'll have Glenn back all chipper and chatty.
Yeah, we'll have to work out whatever that problem was. But again, yep, lots of stuff going on the Comic Art Live channel for the next week. So again, thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. It's great talking to you. And you have some amazing jam pieces that clearly I think are probably the most viewed on CAF. And that's that's saying something.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. Have a good evening.
Have a good one,
And
Mike.
thanks for